What is the story behind Pearl? How did they come up with the concept and the idea?
Based on the family, they wanted to come up something treasure. So treasure in the ocean is pearl because they are considering this property like a treasure, not just from the owner itself, but to a Sierra Leone. This is the first facility in Sierra Leone that is created like this.
Boom! What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Joannis or Joe Hatagua. I'm a Sierra Leonean American living here in West Africa. And if you want to know why somebody would leave the Philippines and move to Sierra Leone, then this is the video for you. All right, look, so today we're meeting up with Mars. Now, Mars is the manager of a hotel called Pearl. It's a hotel and residences, and he's been the manager for quite some time now. And he's gonna explain to us what it's been like leaving the Philippines to move to Sierra Leone, and then what it's been like living in Sierra Leone and running this luxury hotel. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it.
What's up, guys? I'm back in Sierra Leone, and we're here at the Pearl Hotel and Residences, and I'm here with the one and only Mars.
Thank you very much, and thank you for welcoming me on your show.
Absolutely, thanks for coming, Mars. Now, Mars is the manager of the Pearl Hotel. I wanted to interview him about his experience here and what he does here at Pearl and the history of Pearl, because I think it's interesting for you guys to hear it. You guys will have seen now 3 different rooms here at the Pearl. We did the penthouse. We did an official walkthrough of that unit directly behind us. Now, you guys might remember on my channel, my friend Isaac was staying there, and we did a tour of it, just kind of a quick tour. This is an official tour that Mars took us on. So you'll get a chance to see that. We did a penthouse suite that's up there in the corner, a really nice unit. And then there was another unit that I stayed in that I did a quick walk around. So you guys will have now 4 total, but 3 from this trip. And we'll put those all back to back in one video so you can see all those. But here, we're gonna talk to Mars about his experience. I'd love to start with your history. Where were you born and where did you grow up?
My name is Mars
Yes.
Taladro. I grew up in the Philippines. I took 2 courses actually, Bachelor of Science in Education, and then I also took up Bachelor of Science in Nursing.
Really?
After graduation, none of it I'm working with.
Right, I see that.
Me, I tried applying as a part-time teacher,
Okay,
but there's really a challenge with my work schedule
okay,
because I'm also working in a customer service work.
okay.
So I have been a customer service work for almost 8 years in
Okay.
the Philippines
Okay.
before I came to Sierra Leone.
So what brought you to Sierra Leone in the first place?
There is a challenges in the country where too much competition in terms of work opportunity
In the Philippines?
in the Philippines.
Okay.
So I waited for that opportunity for almost a year. So my colleague in college referred me to one company in Sierra Leone. So I started working in there, and then it's still related to customer service. I even transferred to another it's still hospitality, but I am into marketing.
A college friend, right?
Yes.
I referred you to Sierra Leone. So he had been to Sierra Leone?
No, their company.
Oh, the company he worked for had been coming
Yes.
to Sierra Leone. So that's how that was the frame of reference.
Yes.
Okay. So how long have you been here in Sierra Leone?
7 years and 5 months.
7 years and 5 months. Wow, so quite a long amount of time. So how long have you been working at Pearl?
5 years and 5 months.
Wow, okay.
Yes.
Now, did you come over immediately as the manager of Pearl, or did you work in another role before you became manager?
Before I came here, I was at another hotel
Right.
to do marketing.
Right.
So basically, I know where we position in terms
Okay.
of Pearl.
Yeah.
And then I started here as an assistant manager.
Okay.
Yes, there was one manager who is a family friend of the owner,
Okay.
who used to be managing this place. And
Okay.
I'm her assistant that time.
Okay. And then you took over as manager as she moved on.
Yes.
Nice.
That's after 2 years, we opened this place.
When did Pearl actually open as a hotel?
We officially opened December 15 of 2017, but basically I was hired before that because we are still on the process of finishing up the apartments. So officially opened December 15. It's our 5th year.
So as of
But-
December 15th, it was your fifth
Yes.
year.
But prior to that, prior to the opening, we already have a tenant.
Oh, really?
Yes. So it's 5 months before we open. We have already a tenant that is staying with us.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So I mean that's incredible. Before the business officially opened, you already have an influx of revenue coming in. That's very rare in any business. What is the story behind Pearl? How did they come together to decide they wanted to do hotel and apartments? Because most of the buildings here are either restaurants or just hotels. You don't really find residences like this. So how did they come up with the concept and the idea of it?
Based on the family. So
Okay.
I interviewed also the family.
Okay.
So based on their story, they wanted to come up something treasure for Sierra Leone and for Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone has 100 kilometers of beach. It's facing on the Atlantic Ocean. So treasure in the ocean is pearl. That's how it came up the name Pearl, because they are considering this property like a treasure, not just from the owner itself, but to a Sierra Leonean. This is the first facility in Sierra Leone that is created like this.
Ah, I got it. So it's a treasure. Makes sense. And then Pearl is a treasure of the ocean, so that makes a lot of sense. Okay. Now it's all coming together. It makes sense to me now. Okay. So with that, that's how they decided to do kind of a upscale look to all the appliances and the decor internally, right? It all
Yes.
looks like a very, very high-end place. Now it all makes sense to me. Pearl, treasure.
Yes.
That's why it's all high-end.
And the original plan is all residential.
Okay.
But since we have companies that staying with us,
Yeah.
even prior to opening, we decided to open half of it as hotel,
Okay.
because there is a demand of the hotel and residential.
Yeah, absolutely. So in 2018 and 2019, I stayed here about 4 times through those 2 years. And then a friend of mine was staying here in 2020. Now his company was paying. I was paying out of my pocket when I was staying here prior, but his company was staying. So when you mentioned that, it all makes sense to me. And so you said 50% is residential, 50% is hotel.
Yes.
But it's all set up like a
Like-
hotel,
yeah.
right?
Like a residential, like an apartment setup,
Right.
everything.
But in terms of like them coming in and doing your laundry and cleaning the room, that feels more like a hotel.
Yes.
So you kind of have the best of both worlds, right?
Yes.
Like the hotel and residences. Like it feels like a home, but you have the amenities of a hotel, right?
Yes, it's a service apartment or service hotel.
Service department, service hotels. Yes. So I've stayed in the service department before, and that's the ideal scenario. On that note, you have people who stay for different lengths of time. I think you mentioned to me that some companies rent out for a year,
Yes.
and some people stay 3 months. It varies in the length of time, right?
In here, 50% are staying at least a year, and we have companies that already stayed for 5 years. Most of the NGOs, they prefer to stay here. When you wake up, you can cook. If you want to cook for your breakfast, we have breakfast served.
That's true, yeah. So you have the option, right? You can make your own, or you can have it delivered or brought to you. And then you have the phone set up, so you can just call the restaurant brings it out. And on that note, I did want to ask you, so what are the core businesses of Pearl? I know it's not just the hotel and residences, but you have the restaurant as well, right?
Yes. Basically, hospitality business, residential, hotel, restaurant, other services like pickup service, drop-off service.
And you guys do laundry on site as well, right?
Yes, we have a laundry service available.
There's washer and dryer in unit, a washing machine in unit.
Washing machine and drying machine.
Okay, washing and
It's
drying.
2 in 1.
Oh, 2 in 1. Okay, in unit. And then you can also have your laundry done for you on your behalf as well. That is a really cool thing about this building. So now I want to ask you a little bit more about like just business in general in Sierra Leone. One of the things that people ask me all the time is, what are the challenges that you've seen managing with Pearl? You've been here now 7 years, right? 7.5 years basically, but you've been at Pearl for 5 years, if I'm not mistaken, right? So you've gotten a chance to see Sierra Leone as someone who is coming from the outside world, coming from another country that, of course, has its own challenges. But I can imagine they differ from some of the challenges here in
Yes.
Sierra Leone. So I'd love to hear what you've noticed in your time here, being a business manager here in Sierra Leone.
In Sierra Leone, you already taught them of the skills, but sometimes they tend to relax through time. So you need to go over with them again to review the skills again. That's one of the challenges of managing.
I think that makes a lot of sense. And people, when we talk to people about staffing, right, one of the challenging things is finding people who are qualified to do the work. But even when you find those qualified folks, Sierra Leone is not a place where you give instructions once, right? You have to give instructions multiple times, right?
They can acquire the skills. They
Sure.
can be taught with the skills, but
Mhm.
the problem is through time they tend to relax.
Yeah.
That skills wise they don't have any problem.
Okay. It's really more just keeping the consistency of the level of work, right?
Yes, that's
People
correct.
get laxed once they
Yes.
got the job and they know their
Yes.
probationary period's over. They
Yes.
kind of relax a bit.
That's true.
Okay.
And then another challenges is operational expenses.
Okay.
Operational expenses in Sierra Leone is really high.
Can you give some examples of some of the operational expenses?
One of it is fuel and electricity. That's one of it.
Yeah.
That's the reason that most of the prices, even the rates, is a little bit high compared to other countries because of that issue.
And we had a fuel scarcity for a little while. It looks like fuel is back in the country now, but so what do you do with that? Because you have generators, right,
Yes.
that you're using to back up the power and the electricity. I guess that's another challenge, right? How have you handled that? Like when we were having the scarcity, did you have to do like risk mitigation by having backup fuel, or how did you handle that?
When the war started, we have to find or make a contingency plan. So I have to purchase a quite number of fuel as reserve, and I keep it until the war is over.
Which who knows when that's going to be,
Yeah,
right?
that's the problem. So
Right.
I keep it as reserve for now. So if I need fuel, I have to buy from outside
Right.
and keep my reserve.
And by the war, he means the Ukraine-Russia war. Because some people might think Sierra Leone civil war.
Yes.
But the Ukraine and Russia war, it's impacting everywhere around the world, but specifically here.
Yes, and for all to know that Sierra Leone is the friendliest country in West Africa.
There you go. There you go.
Yes.
It's changed a ton since what
And
people-
even more safer than other countries actually in West Africa.
When you look at the global security index, they rank all countries, and Sierra Leone is top 5 in Africa.
Yes.
Believe it or not, you would think it would be different, but it's top 5 in Africa. So just keep that in mind, because I don't think people know that. So,
Yes, and people have this misconception about Africa.
Right.
That Africa is only deserted area, Africa don't have water. No, Sierra Leone, we have hundreds of kilometers of beaches.
Yes.
We have waterfalls.
Yes. Waterfalls. Yes. The Mambo Falls is one that I went to.
Yes, and the country is tropical.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So we talked a little bit about the challenges of doing business here. I'd love to say, if you could offer some advice to anyone. There's a lot of people looking to come here to start businesses. What advice would you give to people who are coming here to start business?
Location, location, location.
Okay.
That's the first thing that you have to consider. Location that has accessibility for your customers.
Yeah, it makes sense. Because as you guys will notice, transportation here, there's no Uber, there's no Lyft, there's no ride sharing services. So use Keke bike, or if you have your own vehicle, or if you want to rent a vehicle. But to get around the different places, it becomes a little bit challenging depending on where you're staying. So like for me, I prefer to stay at the beach because I can easily get a bike, a keke, or if I get in my car, I can drive to Wilberforce and Aberdeen over there. I can go to Lumley, Regent, Juba, and everything over here. It's all within, for me, easy driving distance. So I like that idea. Location.
And Pearl is located at the Lumley Beach area.
Yeah.
And the front beach is about 2 kilometers length.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, on Lumley Beach, 2
Yes.
kilometers. Yeah, it's quite an extensive, long road. I mean, we have a basketball court out there. There's a gym there. There's many restaurants and clubs and stuff there. The Pearl Hotel has a nice restaurant attached to Pearl. We'll be interviewing the manager there as well, and we'll talk to him too, because I want to get both sides of the business, right? The hospitality and then also the restaurant side. So we've talked about your background, you getting to Pearl, the history of Pearl. We've talked about challenges and advice. Is there anything that we missed that you want to mention to the folks out there?
Yes. For like, if you started to start your own business,
Yeah.
it needs careful planning.
Mm,
And then not just location that you need to consider, you also have to consider the people running your business.
right.
And at least you will be considering SWOT, SWOT,
Right.
your strength, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and the threat. Before I started working, I've done my SWOT analysis
Right.
with the previous hotel.
Okay.
So when I started working here, I can use those information so
Okay.
to position ourselves. Where we are we on our competition?
I see. Smart idea. And you had already done the legwork before you came, so you were able to help them kick off the hotel in the right way. Can't remember how it was brought to my attention. You know what it was? I was asking around. I had stayed at the Atlantic Lumley and a few other places, and I asked someone, where would they recommend I stay? And they were like, you should check out the Pearl Hotel and Residence. This is really nice. And I came and took a look at the room, and I was like, oh yeah, this is nice. So I would stay here 5 days at a time, 4 days at a time when I would come in and out of the country. And yeah, I would definitely recommend staying here. It's a really, really nice place for sure.
And Pearl has only like 30 apartments. So and 50% is residential and
Right.
50% is hotel. It means that we only have hotel guests. So the customer service that we are providing is like a family customer service. I mean,
Right.
we're not considering you as our guest.
Ah,
We're considering you as our family when you come to Pearl.
there it is. Excellent. And you mentioned the security is very, very good here, right? You have electric fences all around.
Yes.
Then you have to pass security to get in the main entrance as well. And there's parking here, right? There's parking
Yes.
behind the building and even parking on the side here. So it really has everything you need. There's a pool, obviously, which I noticed nobody ever uses the pool. It's like when you have a pool available to you, you don't use it. I've lived in 3 buildings with pools. Nobody ever gets in the pool. Have you seen people use the pool?
Most of our guests is working.
Yeah, they work during
So
the day.
seldom actually they're using our pool.
Yeah.
Only during holiday season.
Right.
Like January 1st, this will be a mess. Yes. Because
Yeah.
a lot of our Sierra Leone guests come.
Yeah, and they'll be using up the pool. Cool. All right. Well, first of all, I want to thank you for doing this interview. It was enlightening to hear about your story and to get your thoughts on doing business here and the advice that you've given to people. So yeah, thanks again for doing this, Mars. And guys, if you found this useful, if you know anybody who's planning to visit Sierra Leone and who are looking for a place to stay, whether long term or short term, you should definitely have them check out Pearl. Also, I would say make sure you hit that thumbs up. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you're notified every time a new video comes out. And share this with anybody that you know that might be interested. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. You guys aren't subscribers, so subscribe. Hit that subscribe button so that you are gonna see every new video that comes out. And with that, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.
Okay, cool. So that was Mars' story. What did you guys think of the story? If you thought it was interesting, make sure you hit that thumbs up. If you felt like there were any questions that were missed, or if you had any questions for Mars, put them in the description below. We'll make sure to get those questions answered. And then of course, if you know anybody planning to come to Sierra Leone to visit and need a place to stay, definitely have them hit up Mars. His information is going to be in the description below. The information for the hotel is in the description below. Make sure you let them know that Authentic African sent you, okay? They now know that they need to give me, your boy, a discount, or even maybe work with some other people to maybe potentially work on discounts for them because they saw them through my video. So, if you guys are going to go stay at the Pearl Hotel, make sure you tell them that I sent you. All right, guys, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell so you're notified every time a new video comes out. And with that, thanks for watching. See you all in the next video. All right, guys, if you like this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, like, comment, and share it with your friends. All right, see you on the next video.